Hi, I'm Amy, and this is today's Zentangle class. Now, for those of you who have done this before, you'll recognize the tools I have here. For those of you who have not, I'm just going to show you what I have. So the first thing I've got here is a Micron 01 pen by Sakura. You can tell it's an 01 because it actually says 01 on the top. And here, I'll show you. There you go. And you can see it's got a very, very small point, and that's the pen I'm going to be working with. I also have a Zentangle, official Zentangle pencil, which is quite small, as you can see. And this is a tortillon, also known as a blendy tool. You can see mine's a little dark at the tip because I've used it before. Today I'm going to be working with a small tile. It's called a bijou tile. It's not a full-size tile, because I don't want to take as much time as it would take to fill a full tile. If you have not done this before, I'm just going to give you a really quick overview that there's a series of steps we usually go through. And the first of those is to relax and enjoy and be happy about, appreciate. But we're going to move on quickly to our next step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the steps of how to do one specific tangle on this small tile. You can follow along on a larger tile or a small tile, it doesn't matter, but this allows me to complete a whole lesson in a fairly short period of time. For more information about what Zentangle is and how it works, you can check on our website. I'm going to put up some information there as well. So let's start off with this tangle today. I'm going to do Hollibaugh, which is a very good starter tangle if you've never tangled before. So I'm going to start off by doing my 4 corner dots on this little tiny tile, which is called the bijou, as I believe I said. I wouldn't necessarily do 4 corner dots, but on a full size tile I would. And you can see I'm working on what's actually a sort of a placemat here to give you some contrast. So I made 4 corner dots, which you can hopefully see on there. And now what I'm going to do, and I'm doing this with my pencil, is I'm going to connect the dots and create a border. Now you'll notice that as I'm doing this, I'm rotating my tile, which is what they call my little piece of paper here. That allows me to keep my hand in the same position as I'm doing all of this. As you're watching me, everything I do allows me to keep my hand in a comfortable position. Now I'm going to set aside my pencil and move to my pen. The philosophy of Zentangle is a no mistakes philosophy. You don't have an eraser. You just work with what you've got, and anything that happens is okay, and we just keep going. So the first thing I'm going to do for my Hollibaugh, and you can start anywhere. I kind of like doing these diagonally. So I'm going to start from corner to corner, and I'm just going to draw a, in this case, fairly straight line. Okay, and now I'm going to do what's called oraing it. I'm going to draw another straight line that is perfectly, or as perfectly as any human can be, parallel to it. That is my first line. Now I'm going to do another one, and just watch me here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to start to draw a line, but when I get to my original line, I'm going to stop as if I'm bumping into something physical, and I'm going to continue. I'm going to lift up my pen, but I'm going to try to continue that same line without break until I get to the end. So it looks as if I've actually drawn behind. That's what we call this, drawing behind. So it looks like my line actually passes behind my original one. And now I'm going to draw another one. And you see I turned my tile because I'm more comfortable. I want to go from the same direction. It's more comfortable for me. So I'm going to draw another one. And again, I'm trying to go as parallel as possible. Okay. And now I'm going to draw another line, and I wouldn't necessarily normally do this quite this way, but I want you to see the process. So the next one I'm going to do is going to go here, and I'm actually drawing behind this one, which was my second one, and then I'm going to continue to draw behind. So this line would continue like this, and it's going to come out here. And then I'm going to do another parallel line for that one. That's going to just go like this. So you see I've now drawn behind both of my original lines. Now you see I'm making sort of a cross here, and actually I feel like perhaps there would be a little tiny piece of that showing there, so I'm going to put that in. But it doesn't have to go like that, so I'm going to do another one that kind of goes all wonky, and it's going to go this direction. So it's not really parallel to my first one, and it's only crossing this one. And this one's a little narrower, and that's also fine. And now I'm going to do another one that goes this way. And it gets to here, and then I draw behind to here, and then I draw behind to here, and then I draw behind to here, and then I need to draw my parallel line for that. So I'm going to draw right here, and it's going to go behind here, and here, and here. And now I'm going to do, I think maybe one or two more. Because I'm working on this bijou, which is really quite small, it doesn't take a whole lot to fill it. If I was doing a whole big tile, it would take me a lot longer if I was filling the whole tile. And I'm going to draw one more here. There we go. And let's see, I think maybe I kind of want to draw one more right. I think I need one more going this direction. So I'm going to draw one more that goes this way. Okay. And then I'm going to parallel that one. And I think I'm going to call that done. So now you see that I have all these lines and they're crossing each other in what we call a Hollibaugh pattern. And you see that there's a lot of drawing behind. And it's really very, very simple to do. You just pick up your pen. However, it does give you a really interesting look. So now that I've finished my ink, I'm going to take my pencil. I'm going to put my pen aside. I'm done with my pen for now. And I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to do some shading. And the shading is where the real magic happens. Shading was not my favorite thing when I first started learning this, but having learned now, I find that it really does do great things. So you can see that what I'm doing is I'm holding my pencil almost like tucked into my hand so that I'm holding it at an angle. So I'm not holding it like you normally hold a pencil up and down. I'm actually holding it angled so that I'm using kind of the side of the tip of my pencil, and I'm just following along here like this. And there we go. So I just put a little bit of graphite down on either side of, and I chose my very first one, the one that was on top of everything else. Now I'm going to take my tortillon and I'm just going to sort of smudge that. I want to draw it away from the line. I don't want to go into the line. I don't want to go in between these two lines. I want this to come on the outside of the two lines. Now I'm going to turn it around the other direction. And I'm going to do the same thing. And now you'll see that it starts to look as if there's depth there, like it's starting to pop out. Now when you shade Hollibaugh, so I'm going to do the same thing for my second one, which is right here. When you shade Hollibaugh, you have a choice. You can shade all of your different bars, or you can just choose a few. What you don't want to do is shade so much that you end up with everything shades of gray. You want to still have some white showing, so you don't want to spread it out too much. I have a tendency to shade a little heavily. It took me a while to get used to that. My teacher used to say you can always add, but you can't take away. But I've found over my time that the heavier shade does give you some really good contrast. So I'm going to continue to shade, doing the same thing, putting just a little bit of lead with the side of my pencil along the outside of my lines. making sure as I'm doing this, I'm never crossing over. So this one is behind these, so I do not want the shade to continue there. I want the shading to sort of go behind too. So when I get to this first line, I stop, and then I pick up again over here. And I'm going to continue just in the order of what they're on top of. So this one was on top of the next few. So I'm going to shade this one. And I can choose to shade just these few, or I can shade all of them. I really kind of like the depth you get when you shade them. So I'm going to keep shading until such time as I feel like I'm going to get too murky if I shade more. So there's really not much more going on this particular section of the tile. So I have plenty of room to go ahead and shade this last bar that I did right here. And then I only have a few left. I'm going to go ahead and shade all of them. I do really, oops, and I obviously forgot to use my smudging tool here. And now you can see this little section got completely blacked out, but I'm okay with that because that's just background. And I'm not blacking out the whole tile. I just blacked out that one little corner there because there was so much stuff going on behind it. You do want to make sure that you get your tortillon out and use it because you can see, like for here, that it stays, that the tortillon really sort of softens it as well as spreading it out. All right, so now I have completed my tile. This is Hollibaugh. And the last thing that you do, or one of the next thing you would normally do is to take your tile and hold it out and appreciate it because you've been looking at it very closely all this time, and now we're looking at it from a bit of a distance and seeing what you have created. Once you've done that, then you can rotate your tile. The tiles are square for a reason. What it does is it allows you don't have to have a direction. So I'm going to rotate this around until I decide what direction I think it looks best. And it being all Hollibaugh, it doesn't really matter too much, but I kind of like it like this. So I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to add my chop, which is like my initials, my signature right on the front. You can do it anywhere. I kind of feel like I'm going to put it in this little spot right here. You can put it on the outside. I often put them on the outside, but for today I put it on the inside. Then you're going to turn your tile over and you can see I've now decided this is up, and up is no longer what it was when I started. And I'm going to date this. So today, I'm going to sign it with my name. And then I'm going to date this. And today, when I'm doing this, is the 23rd. And then I'm going to write the name of the tangle that we did. And the tangle that we did is called Hollibaugh. So now you can write that down too, and you can see what the name of the the tangle that we've done is. And I often write a little something about what I was thinking or feeling. I'm going to write first video because this is my first video. And there you go. And now you have created a Zentangle tile with the tangle Hollibaugh. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you again soon.